Good morning, everyone. Here we are. It is, of course, the Fruit Nut News on of course, what are we today? 28 today, 28 for the 4th. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all okay. Interesting day today. Very interesting day today. Let me just shut this curtain a little bit. We've got a bit too much light coming in, as they say in the trade. So let's have a look at that. Let's just open that up a little bit again. So we can just see a little bit more. So, good morning, everyone. We are, of course, the 28th, Tuesday the 28th of the 4th, 2020. Now, I put my glasses down somewhere. I can't even see them. Where's my glasses? Hold on a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my glasses? Yep. Got my glasses. As you can see, we are very, very well organised here. Very, very well organised, as you well know. So, good morning, everyone. It is, of course, Tuesday, the 28th of the 4th, 2026. The numbers on this are very interesting, actually. 226 adds up to 24, which adds up to 6. And then we've got another very interesting number. 226 adds up to 42. So what we've got is we've got 24 and 42, which is a reversal day, adds up to 66. Now remember, 66 is of course an interesting number, not because it's particularly satanic, but of course it is a number that is used by satanic people for to sort of display messages, so to speak. The most important thing about good and evil is, of course, the intention. So you can have good intentions when it comes to magic, or you can have bad intentions when it comes to magic. You can have good intentions in regards to voodoo, but of course you can also have bad intentions, of course, in regards to voodoo. So this, of course, is very interesting when we look at the intention of the world, and we look at the world intentional frequency, which is quite an interesting one as well. So yes, very interesting. So anyway, listen, let's get on with the bullshit, shall we? Quick hello to everyone. 33 people in the house. I told you it was the numbers. Lisa's in, Nina's in, Belinda's in, Chris Taylor's in, Kelly Close is in, Leslie's in, Angela Davis is, Glenn Pearson's in, Gradders is in, Ann Taylor's, Smarts is in. We've also got Natalie, Jason, Shepherd, Kath Myers is in, Sue Nora's in, Vanessa, Sheila, Sylvia Trott, Blue Roses is in, Karma's in. Karma apparently is here for knowledge, and she wants to behave. Very interesting. Karma's a new one, so good morning. John Brain, Graham's in, Brian Wright's in, Olivia's in, Brenda's in, Amanda Smith's in, she's a new one as well. Hi, Amanda. Valerie Mooney's in, Christina's in, Sue Allen's in. We've also got Sharon Young in, and of course Bob. All right, Bob's in. Cat's just gone by the past the window. There you go, 33 people in the house. So what do we got for you today? Well, very interesting. Yesterday, Mr. Putin declassed Tartaria. Fucking hell. I'll tell you something. You're going to get some shocking shit going on. So, yesterday, Mr. Putin declassed the files on, of course, Tartaria. This, of course, is the Tartaria Empire. This, of course, is the structures, etc., that we all see around the world that have been half buried in mud, etc., etc. These files are going to be released in May. I'm not sure what the day is, But anyway, it's going to be an interesting day. We're also looking as well, Tartaria, the Tartarian, should we say, system was a very advanced system. It was very advanced from the point of view of free energy. It was advanced from the point of view that people were very mindful. They were very spiritual. They were very compassionate. They were just, they were together. They had their shit together, so to speak, rather than the fucking lot that we've got now. So that is quite an interesting one. Now, Lindsay Hoyle was in the house it was yesterday or the day before. Won't be a Sunday because they're all idle bastards. Anyway, that besides. Lindsay Hoyle, of course, is the gatekeeper. He classes himself as the gatekeeper. And somewhere along the line, I'm not quite sure what's happened, but it seems to me that Westminster has been forced into a situation where it has to debate the Keir Starmer and Mandelson debacle. Whatever you think about that is entirely up to you. I'm just telling you what I see, okay? Now, Lindsay Hoyle has said that he is personally not going to make a decision, which is unusual because, of course, he's friends with Israel. We all know about that one. I'm going to talk about the Queen and that a bit later on. And the decision will be nothing to do with me. It will be decided by the House as to whether or not it is an issue or not. So, will Keir Starmer be thrown under the bus? This is the question that people are asking. And if he is thrown under the bus, who is going to replace him? Because I don't know about you, but I can't see anybody that is apart from myself, of course, who is in any relevance of power to be able to sort of take over. So this is going to be quite interesting. And I think it was yesterday, Zach Polensky on Good Morning Britain was basically quizzed about his manifesto and what he was going to do, and and basically all this kind of stuff. And Ed Balls, and the other girl, I can't remember her name. This is Good Morning ITV, I think it is. Anyway, he said, listen, Zach, when we have politicians on, he said, we are basically trying to find out by asking you questions as to what your policies are, what you stand for, who you are, etc., etc., etc. He said, that's just standard journalism, okay? We're quite interested to find out what the Green Party stand for. And Zach Polanski was rather bemused by all of these questions that were asked of him. And he was doing an absolute fantastic impression of Keir Starmer, where he just didn't know what to say. I don't know whether he was told not to say anything, whether he knows what he's doing or not. I don't even know whether he knows whether he's in the room or not. But once again, we have a politician that is up and coming, that really doesn't know anything about his own policies and his own ideas, which is leading us very fastly to believe, of course, that these people do not have any idea whatsoever. And the reason is because they are being run by someone else. Now, Chatham House comes to mind, the British colonial establishment comes to mind, the Queen comes to mind, which I will talk about in a bit. But anyway, it's a very interesting scenario. So we will wait and see. Now, Keir Starmer yesterday, after the shootings of the shenanigans at the White House, whatever you want to think about that is, of course, entirely up to you. But Keir Starmer was blasting Donald Trump. I mean, this is absolutely ironic from a man that is basically a paedophile of the paedophiles. Jimmy Savile comes to mind, of course. And here we have the Prime Minister of the UK blasting Donald Trump over the shooting at the White House. Starmer was calling for Donald Trump to take responsibility. He was calling for him to, value democracy, okay? Also, to value safety of American people. Now, meanwhile, in the UK, okay, I mean, bear in mind, the Prime Minister is blasting Donald Trump for democracy, responsibility, and safety. And yet, here we have a Prime Minister who is allowing rape gangs to continue, is allowing knife crime to continue, is doing fuck all about shoplifting, is allowing illegal criminals to pour into the UK through the open border policy, security, ladies and gentlemen, which even the military at the Cobra meeting yesterday weren't even fucking talking about. Okay. Now, bear in mind, this is the recent recent Afghanistan man that basically killed and raped a woman in Egypt, was convicted and fled Egypt and was allowed into Britain. Then went on to basically rape a woman with two other men on Bournemouth Beach, not Bournemouth Beach, on, I think was it Brighton? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. Then went on to rape a woman and, in the UK. Meanwhile, child trafficking continues. Organ trafficking continues. The debacle with the NHS and the police and the judges and the establishment continues to just get out of control. And this is a man that is lambasting Donald Trump. But of course, I'm going to tell you why that's happening. Very interesting. Now, apparently, the shooter, Cole Israel, his name is. He's not, well, it's Cole. He's Israel's not his second name, but we may as well call him an Israel because, of course, he's an IDF supporter and a friend of Israel. Apparently, Kash Patel and himself have previous connections. Not quite sure. Now, meanwhile, of course, the Mr. Cole has been awarded by the American Education Board. He has been awarded the Teacher of the Year award, and this, of course, is after he was schooling his kindergarten children in dildos, oral sex, and bondage. And, of course, consented rape at the age of 5. He ran to the White House and decided to have a bit of a dust-up with Donald Trump. And, of course, a failed assassination attempt. The third one, ladies and gentlemen. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, why Donald Trump is very valuable on the assassination list, so to speak. Anyway, we will talk about that in a bit. Meanwhile, Mr. Putin not only has talked about Tartaria, but he's also talking about a drug that slows down the aging process. Now, we're not sure whether he's talking about andromochrome or not. We're not quite sure, but we will wait and see on that one. What else have we got? Now, apparently Benjamin Netanyahu will not be pardoned over his corruption in Israel. This is the corruption case in Israel that Netty is up for. So that's quite an interesting one. Now, there are rumours that Netty has already been arrested and we're just waiting to see the public display of this, so to speak. So very interesting. Now, a big shout out today to Tiffany Baker. Now, Tiffany Baker happens to be a paedophile and rapist lover, and she decided that a child rapist who was known to be a danger to society and children should be released on bail. Okay. He then went on to rape and torture a 5-year-old girl who he then subsequently killed. So a big shout out this morning to Tiffany Baker, who happens to be on the sort of mental spectrum of Keir Starmer and all of the other paedophile protectors in the world. And of course, we know why they do that. It doesn't take much to really work out. Anyway, what we're looking at here. Starmer is guardian of the paedophiles. Remember that Putin also basically said that the flesh-eating vampire ball was over for the West. Very interesting. Now, what else have we got? Shootings by young children. And antisocial behaviour, respect, etc., etc. So the big question about this behaviour that is being displayed by young people, we saw this in the streets of London a week or so ago. The question is it the parents' fault? Is it the school's fault? Is it the government's fault? Okay. Is it a soft society problem? Okay, that is creating this lack of respect and moral discipline. Is it AI? Is it Facebook and all of this fakery that goes on? Is that what's causing all of this stuff? So very, very interesting, and it's an interesting question that we can maybe get into at another time, but not now. Now, it's been proven that certain AI programs, ChatGPT, Super Grok, and of course Google Gemini, are now all concluding that the vaccines are causing autism. Now, bear in mind, this is AI technology. So we're looking at, you ask ChatGPT, give me the figures on deaths in the UK over, putting your finger in a plug socket, and they'll come up with that figure. It's fucking quite amazing, actually. And very interesting. Now, NATO, apparently, from what we can gather, Donald Trump has recalled all of NATO troops. That's an interesting one for the colonial British, isn't it? Who actually rely on NATO and, of course, the Americans to bolster their strong arm tactics in the world. Fortunately, it's all going to fucking cock. Now, let's come to the Queen. This was my interpretation taken from the latest Kokinda video. Some of you may or may not be able to follow it. So one of my skills is to make things into very coherent information that you can sort of follow. So bear with me. Okay. So we have the King's visit. The King's visit is happening as we speak in the US of A. The King wasn't greeted in the normal royal manner. He was greeted as a normal citizen on US soil. So the American people didn't recognize that the king was a king. They didn't recognize the royalty. It was a very impromptu, interesting fly into the USA by the king. Now, the question then remains is that why did the king have to go there? Well, the king is on basically what we would class as a begging mission. And the reason that he's on a begging mission is because he's trying to keep the monarchy alive, but not only that, he's trying to keep the British establishment alive as well. Now, if you don't know what the British establishment is, the British establishment is the old-fashioned colonial system. This is basically what it is. It's a system that literally fleeces hard-working British people. It sells industrial companies set up in the UK, BT, miners, electricity, steel, British steel, British gas, British coal, British oil fields, and it sells all those industries abroad. The only people that profit from this, of course, are the British colonial hierarchies. This includes the Queen, the monarchy, etc., etc., etc. When you get into it, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's very easy to follow. So, so the king has had to go to America because it is in the interests of the monarchy to stay very close to America, as was advised by Winston Churchill back in the day. When you find out about Winston Churchill, some of you are going to probably wet your pants. But for us hardened people, we're well past that stage. Winston Churchill was known as a butcher, and he was known as a butcher for a reason. And the story of World War II will one day be told, and it won't be something that you will like, because everything that you've been told is an absolute fucking lie. Now, remember that there has been Donald Trump has been an attempted assassination for the third time on Donald Trump in America. So wouldn't you think that the British Secret Service would err on the side of caution when it came to the king visiting America? Okay, but no, the British colonials are having to go to try and win favour. Now, the Queen has done this in the past, and we'll go into that in a bit. But let's now look at the Queen. Now, a new book has come out called "The Hidden Hand of the Royals," and this is in regards to the presidents. Okay, the assassination of presidents. Now, when we look back over history, we look back at certain things that have happened, and presidents in the past have been assassinated because they have challenged the British colonial rule across the world. There is no doubt that the British colonials have had a large control of the world over many years. Unfortunately, Donald Trump's popped up, and Donald Trump has created quite a bit of a problem for not only the Queen, but also Chatham House, and of course the Westminster political establishment. Okay, I mean, Donald Trump is literally hated. So let's just quickly have a look at assassination attempts in the past. Well, we had Ronald Reagan shot in the same venue that the recent assassination was attempted on Donald Trump. Okay. JFK, we all remember the assassination of JFK, who happened to be another challenge for the colonial British. And of course, we also need to talk about Mossad, Israel, the Five Eyes, etc., etc., etc. Then, of course, we had the French president was stabbed. This is back a while ago now. Also, the Spanish president was shot. And then, can we all remember Mr. McKinley? Mr. McKinley, who was a great leader, but he was also a massive threat to the British colonials. Okay, he was shot and killed. McKinley. Donald Trump talks about Mr. McKinley quite often, actually. And a lot of people assume that the Queen was an old lady, a very nice old lady, that was not overly informed. But let's tell you that the Queen received press briefings and security briefings from Mossad, Five Eyes, etc., every single day that she was in power. Okay, now I actually didn't know that, but yeah, that is actually true. She received absolutely every secret document that was going, and even though she was portrayed as being a old lady that looked after a few corgis and did a bit of horse racing at the weekend, she was actually very well informed. And this is where the royal hidden hand comes in. The royal hidden hand. This is the hidden hand of control. Now, when we look at organisations like Chatham House, which is all part of the old-based British order, these people are absolutely shitting themselves because, of course, Donald Trump is pulling away and retreating from the old rules order of Britain. And of course, Trump is taking a different approach. So Trump is talking about tariffs. He's talking about building up the American industrial base, making working class people rich, giving working class people the opportunity to expand and build and all that. You know, this is the old-fashioned American dream. Before, of course, it was smashed by, of course, the Federal Reserve, etc., etc., in 1913, 1912. Interestingly enough, around about the same time that the Titanic went into liquidation, so to speak. So the House of Lords are exactly the same as well. They have admitted, as well as Chatham House, that they need America to go back to the post-war rules and regulations. It's never going to happen. It's never going to fucking happen. It's too late. It's all gone. They're fucked. They're just... They're just fucked. Now, the other question that we have to ask ourselves as well, in regard to the fact of the royal hidden hand, let's look at people. Let's look at people who weren't assassinated. Okay. Now, who were these people that weren't assassinated? Well, they, of course, were the ones that were going along with the rhetoric. Let's look at Mr. Zelensky. Oh, yeah, Mr. Zelensky. Yes, he's got quite successful. We're not hearing too much about Ukraine at the moment. But, yes, Mr. Zelensky has got quite successful, hasn't he? Have you noticed? Reason is he's going along with the, the old British colonial post-war system. Let's look at Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Oh, yeah. Barack Obama went along with the old order. And interestingly enough, Zelensky has not had an assassination on his life. Barack Obama hasn't had an attack on his life. George Bush never had an attack on his life. Don't you find that fascinating? Because I do. Bear in mind, ISIS, Al Qaeda. Okay, very interesting. Now, here's a little thing that we wanted to bring you back to in regards to previous history that we know that's happened. So I want to bring you back to the time when Donald Trump walked in front of the Queen. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but on that particular day, or should we say during the visit, the Queen wore a certain brooch. The brooch was gifted to the Queen by Michelle Obama. Okay. The brooch that all of a sudden appeared wasn't basically seen for around about 6 years. And then all of a sudden it turns up. The Queen was wearing the brooch. You can go and see this. This was basically a message to Donald Trump. And what this said was to Donald Trump very quietly and very auspiciously was the fact that I support Obama. That was the Queen of England supporting Barack Obama. The Queen of England is supposed to be non-political, as you well know, or it is portrayed that way. But when you understand who Barack Obama is, you understand where Barack Obama is from, and you understand that Michelle Obama has got a cock, you will understand what I'm talking about. So, not to be put off by the brooch that Donald Trump was looking at, and he knew full well what that brooch meant. Donald Trump decided to go, fuck you, and he walked in front of the Queen. Now, the press and the world went absolutely mad because, of course, Donald Trump walked in front of the Queen. But this was a message to the Queen. First of all, fuck you and your brooch from Michelle Obama. And secondly, fuck you and your regime, etc., etc. And fuck the monarchy. And so Donald Trump walked in front of the Queen and the whole world was outraged. However, that was the moment that the Queen actually gave way to Donald Trump and basically had to hand over the reins of leadership from the monarchy to, of course, Donald Trump. And that's been happening ever since. Now, we all know that the political, the British colonial system and the British Empire have had a very, very strong history of basically of basically looking after terrorists and illegal people. So when we look at this, okay, we have to look at what's happening today. Britain is defending illegal immigrants pouring into the country. Britain is defending terrorists. Keir Starmer has defended the most notorious paedophile on the planet, Mr. Jimmy Savile. Okay, paedophiles continue to be protected by not only the British royalty, but clearly the British royalty, but also by, of course, the judiciary, also, of course, by the police, also, of course, by the military. The UK military is protecting and not securing the borders. Okay, so it's very interesting. This, of course, is, you know, maritime law, you know, fiat money, etc., 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 etc. And the last time that the royal monarchy went to do a bit of begging, was, of course, during the Suez Canal crisis. Now, this is where France and Britain basically attacked Egypt to gain control of the Suez Canal. Now, a guy called Mr. Eisenhower stepped in and basically said, whoa, fucking hold on a minute, this is not good. If you don't retreat, we're going to crash the economy. And basically what happened is that that nearly happened. If it hadn't have been for the Queen to go there and flash some of her knickers, etc., etc., then Eisenhower wouldn't have relented, and the rest would have been history. So it is a very interesting thing. Now, now you can see in more detail what the crack is. Okay, you can see it now. Now, let me also come back up to speed and today with some sort of like interesting stuff. Okay, so a lot of people are trying to work out when this is all going to end, etc. So I don't think it's going to end like all of a sudden. I think it might just take a little bit of a while. However, let's not forget that this started a very, very long time ago. This whole thing started a very long time ago. So what I wanted you to do, I wanted to think about the Trump speech. Donald Trump basically spoke about all that I've just spoken about with the assassination attempts, etc., etc. But Donald Trump also said that we will be having another White House dinner. We will be having another celebration in the White House. Okay? And he said it will be done in 30 days. Now, let's have a look at the Q drop of the 27th of March, 2018. The 27th of March, 2018. This is important for you to remember when we are looking at today. Today happens to be the 28th of March, and April, 28th of April. Yesterday was the 27th of April, but on some calendars, we are running slightly behind. Okay, now Q drop, I can't remember what Q drop it was, but Q drop said that it was done in 30. This was announced on the 27th of March, 2018. So could they be referring to the 27th of April, 2026? Yes, they could. Okay. So Donald Trump announced that he's done in 30. He made a speech in the White House saying that we would be having another White House dinner in under 30 days. Now, it then talks about, the Q drop then talks about house cleaning in regards to the cleaning of the White House, or should we say the cleaning of the world. Then it says White House is secured, and then it just says the final stage. Now, that could mean that A, we are moving into the final stages, or B, we are actually at the final stage, or C, the final stage has finished. Job done. The house is clean, the White House is secured, and then, of course, in the next 30 days, it will all come to light or something. Anyway, we don't know. We just got to wait and see. That basically is it today. I hope you've managed to glean some insight into that. I try to explain things in a simple manner that people can understand, because of course some people happen to get bogged down in the sort of information that is out there. Okay, now we of course are, we of course have got 4th of July. 4th of July is approaching, Independence Day. V for Vendetta. There is also a film about Independence Day in regards to the Earth being attacked by aliens. And then, of course, the world comes together to basically defeat the aliens and basically create a 4th of July that is an Independence Day for everybody around the world. And now, of course, you can, of course, if you wish, look on the doom and gloom side of things. You can, of course, pick up on. You can, of course, pick up on, the New World Order if you want to. That's up to you. I don't really have any say in that. You believe what you want. I believe what I want. That's just the way it is. And so, there's a lot of people still believe in the New World Order. And, that's up to them. I don't really give it any thought, really. It's not really my remit. I'm not on that timeline. I'm not going even down that timeline. I'm not even going to get even involved in all the doom and gloom. And I tell you what, I do find amazing. I do find amazing that a lot of the people that have gone down the route of the New World Order have gone down the route of, finding out about the monarchy and finding out about the maritime law and the common law and all that. What I find fascinating is that a lot of those people have remained on that timeline, and they don't seem to have been able to find their way off it. They don't seem to be looking all of the positive stuff that is going on around the world and how all of that stuff links together to basically dismiss the New World Order. It fascinates me. And you would have thought that somebody who was doing a lot of deep dive investigations into rabbit holes, conspiracy theories, whatever you want to call it, you would have thought that those people would have also been able to see the positive side of what's happening in the world and absolutely not be consumed by the negative. But apparently being positive is a very, very rare commodity in this day and age. And when you look around, you start to realize that actually there is a lot of truth to that. And so while these people, continue to talk and peddle and discuss the doom and gloom and the fact that we're all going to die and the New World Order is going to take over and this is going to happen and that's going to happen and we're all going to be jabbed and rah, 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 rah. I want you to remember one thing. What I want you to remember is that a few years ago, 6 years ago now, the plan was that the New World Order would have everybody on the planet controlled. The population would be down to somewhere in the region of 500,000. There would be thousands and thousands and thousands of people dying. I mean, in the trillions, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think about it, it's never happened. Yeah, we had a few years of a little bit of toing and froing, but apart from that, it's all collapsed. The whole thing's collapsed. The whole New World Order has collapsed. If you're seriously looking at it, okay, you can seriously see that the whole thing has collapsed. The forced vaccinations, the lockdowns. I mean, don't forget, we were supposed to be in a perpetual cycle of complete and utter lockdowns until they got rid of everybody. That hasn't happened, ladies and gentlemen, and it hasn't happened because some very clever people were able to get hold of the looking glass. And not only were they able to get hold of the looking glass, but they were able to interpret what was going to happen. And the looking glass predicted that there would always be the collapse of the cabal, the New World Order, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. That would always collapse. It was always written. It was written in the past. It was written in scriptures. It was written in the Bible. It was written in everything. Unfortunately, they didn't want you to know that. They wanted you to think that it was all going to be doom and gloom and this was going to happen and that was going to happen, and to keep you in this perpetual cycle. Unfortunately, ascension or spiritual enlightenment or heaven on earth, so to speak, that was basically said was going to return to the earth was always going to happen. It was always going to happen. It's only ever been a question of time. When, not if, when. The kingdom of heaven, God wins. Spirituality wins, etc., etc., etc. It was always written. Okay, and if you want to think differently, well, that's entirely up to you. We're not here to convince you. Okay, we're just here to pass on information. What you do with that information, of course, is entirely up to you. Remember, of course, that we live on a planet of free will. This planet is a free will planet, and you can think exactly what you like. I certainly know what I'm thinking. The question is, what are you thinking? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I'm going to get myself off. Busy day today. Bournemouth tomorrow. Lives tomorrow might be a bit iffy, so to speak. So we'll wait and see. Anyway, take care. Love you, ladies. Keep your eye on the ball. And remember, don't forget to watch the water. Love you, ladies. Cheers, bye.